In this video, I'm going to explain the difference between vectors and scalars. Basically, a scalar is simply a number with its unit. And be careful about this because a number by itself doesn't represent pretty much anything in physics. And well, some examples of scalars are mass, energy, and pressure. There are more, of course. So a scalar for mass would be 5 kilograms. Again, remember the unit every time. A scalar for energy would be 10 joules. And a scalar for pressure could be 2 pascals. And essentially, whenever something doesn't have a direction, it is a scalar. Now, vectors. Vectors are composed of two elements, a magnitude and a direction. If they fail to have any of these, they're not considered vectors. The magnitude is simply the length of the vector, and the direction is basically where it's pointing. And that will usually be represented with a component or unit vectors I, j, and k. Which indicate, in the case of I, it's the x direction or the x coordinate. In the case of j is the y coordinate, and in the case of k is the z coordinate. But I will get more into that in future videos. So a vector needs to have a magnitude and a direction, and it's represented with an arrow, in which the length of the arrow is the magnitude, so the length is the magnitude, and the direction is essentially where it's pointing. In this case, it's going from left to right, which is the y coordinate. So you could say it has a unit vector of j. And some examples of vectors are velocity. And you have to put an arrow on top of it to say it's a vector. Acceleration and force. And you can think of this as, when you're applying a force, you're applying it into a direction, a specific direction. So when you push a box, you will be pushing it north, south, east, or west. And that's why it's considered a vector. You are applying a force which has a magnitude and a direction. And well, those are the difference between vectors and scalars. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it and found it useful. And if you did, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more videos.